Good morning. If you're new here, my name is Charlie and I am an aspiring author. I'm currently working on a new adult sci-fi romance novel that I'm calling Project Daydream. It's got futuristic, dystopian, and enemies to lovers vibes. And today I am letting ChatGPT create my writing routine. The first thing on the docket was basically to get ready for the day, which I have already done, as you can see. The next step is to walk my dog. I did tell it to leave time for things like that. And then I'm meant to eat breakfast. So why don't we do that really fast and I will check in with you guys after. Gosh. Anyways, we're at that part of the routine where I'm meant to be having my breakfast. ChatGPT specified that it needed to be packed with protein. So this is a protein smoothie with pineapple, mango, avocado, and spinach and green apples. It's disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the greatest at making smoothies, but it's doing the job. I think this will fill me up at least until lunch. It's currently 9:15. At 9:20, I'm meant to be starting a writing sprint from 9:20 to 10 o'clock. ChatGPT specified that I'm meant to be using Pomodoro timers, so 3 25-minute Pomodoro timers with 5-minute breaks. And I'm also meant to be focusing on drafting, which good for me because I am in the first draft of my novel, so that works out. But then it also specified that I need to be working on hard scenes, but I don't know if I have the mental power for that today. We'll see. We'll find out. I'm still working on those beginning few chapters. I have been working on it all week, basically just here and there. But I finally managed to get through the first chapter of Kai's and started working on the second chapter of Kai's actually, and Cody the writer and Becca Tobar's writing sprints yesterday for me. For you guys, it was like a week ago. That was really fun. And now I'm working on chapter 3, which is also in Kai's perspective. I think that's gonna be the last chapter that I need for him in this beginning part of the book. The rest of the book is gonna be working in Alyssa's perspective, and I don't know about her, you guys. I'm actually kind of thinking about whether or not I want to scrap her perspective and just write the book solely in Kai's point of view. I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do. Or if I want to scrap Kai's, I don't know. It's all up in the air right now. And obviously, for those of you who don't know, I am a pantser and I am writing a dual POV book for the first time ever. I only have 3 minutes until I'm meant to start writing. So I'm going to get set up for that. And then after that, we're actually going to a cafe. So that should be fun. ChatGPT said I need to go to a cafe from 10 a.m. to 11:45 this morning. We will talk more after the cafe. Okay, so I managed to do the first 25-minute sprint. I am actually going to use my 5-minute break to wash dishes. I did finish my smoothie. And in this first writing sprint of the day, I managed to write 402 words. So let's see how I do in sprint number 2. I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I did all 3 writing sprints. I was able to write 948 words for the total time writing. I did get a little stuck in the last writing sprint because I have been working on the beginning portion of this book and I finally finished that in the second writing sprint. Now I am jumping back into what I was working on before, which was chapter 18, which actually now is going to be chapter 20. I am realizing now that I don't remember anything about where I was because I've been working on the first part of the chapters for so long. Most of the time I was just reading, but I did add a little bit to that final chapter in chapter 20. For some reason, I don't know what's going on, but I am running a little bit behind the schedule. I started at 9:20, but it is now 11 o'clock and it is time to go to the cafe. So we are going to go to Vibrant Coffee House and Kitchen, where I am going to be doing some more writing sprints. And then I think after that, it's the park writing session. Let's go get some coffee.
Sadness wrapped around a frame, would you see yourself?
So ChatGPT has said that I need to take a break now. That being said, I wanted to pop on here really fast and kind of tell you a little bit about where I'm at and how my last writing session went. Basically, I was able to get around 700 words in about 45 minutes. I did order some lunch, which was delicious. Yeah, now I'm just here. I had to stop and pick up my dog here before we go to the dog park. I think in my last update, I told you guys that I was working on those beginning chapters. I am now working on chapter 18. Chapter 18 is a fun one. In these scenes, my 2 main characters are really getting to know each other on a friendship level, and they're going to start to connect a little bit more romantically, but they're about to just change locations into the dream world. Things are moving along really nicely. I'm actually really enjoying ChatGPT's writing routine for me right now. I think the change of locations really helped, and the next location we're actually going to go to a park, which will be really nice. I have never written in a park before, so it'll be interesting to see how that works for me. I don't really know what else to say right now. Like, everything is going really well. I don't have anything to complain about. The words are flowing smoothly. This is my first writing session in a while that I felt like the words are coming out pretty easily and I'm not really struggling too much to translate what I'm saying and put it down on paper. I think a big part of the problem is that I have been really neglecting my sleep schedule. On average, I think I get about 4 hours of sleep. It definitely doesn't help me with my brain fog, and it just comes with a slew of other issues. It really impacts how productive I'm actually able to be. So I think over the next week or so, I'm going to really work on getting that under control, because if I'm really going to dedicate the time and energy that I want to this project, I need to come at it as my best self and as the best version of me. And I don't think that that's going to happen if I'm only getting 4 hours of sleep every night. That being said, I think I'm going to take my dog to the dog park. Would you like to go to the dog park? Yeah, he wants to go to the dog park. I will see you guys afterwards when we are riding in the park. Let's go.
You know they say we're just animals. Yeah, what animal are you? The one who stays or the one who runs away like a prey?
I apologize in advance for any background noise you might hear. I am at the park and it is very busy. I love riding in the park. I think I'm gonna make this a regular thing. I have been in the best flow that I have been in years. In this writing session, I have managed to write about 700 words. Next on the to-do list, I am meant to be going to the library to do a writing session. So I'm gonna go ahead and pack up my stuff and head off to the library and see if I can get maybe another hour writing session in. And then I think the next thing on the to-do list was to just like take a reflective break, and then I think I'm going to read for a little bit. So I'm currently reading A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Okay, hot take. One thing that annoys me more than anything else is people playing their music in public without headphones in. That really bothers me for some reason. I don't care if it's good music or not. Just put in headphones, you know? It's the polite thing to do, in my opinion. But anyway, I will see you guys in a bit.
Friends will come, friends will go. They all seem to change while I'm still the same. 'Cause I just can't let go. And there's no one to blame. It's just
Today has been like such a weird writing day for me. I feel like at the very beginning of the day, I started off a little bit slow and then things picked up when I got to the park. I was like really on top of it. I don't know what happened, but I got to the library and I could only really get out about 400 words. The words were coming to me a little slower than they were earlier in the day. And I think it's because my brain is like starting to give up a little bit. And I am also noticing a very steep decline of the quality of my words as well. But luckily, ChatGPT has scheduled in a little bit of a break for me. Currently, it is 5:55 in the afternoon. Technically, I was meant to eat dinner at around 5 o'clock, but I got home from the library and realized that I don't actually have any groceries. So I decided I was gonna order a pizza. So that is currently en route. Pretty much after dinner, it's going to be one final writing session before I do a creative cool down. We'll just be like reading, listening to music. Maybe I'll watch a movie or something. So far today, I have managed to write 2,432 words, which is probably my best writing day in almost a year. I definitely wrote some really cool scenes today, and I'm excited to see where it goes in my next writing session. But I desperately need a break from writing for a little bit. So while I am waiting for my pizza to get here, I'm gonna finish up the dishes that I started this morning. I will see you guys at dinner. You want some pizza?
This is your third year escaping. What defines your personal signature?
Please don't ask me why it's 9 o'clock and I haven't done the very last writing session of the day. I decided I was going to watch some of the Hunger Games movie. I ended up watching the whole first movie because my brain has been effectively turned to mush during this experiment. I am doing my absolute best, and that is why I'm here right now, bright and shiny, with a new shirt on and a smile on my face. ChatGPT says that I'm supposed to be taking a cozy wind down writing session, wants me to journal and do notes while setting the mood, which I have already done with this candle. I'm not a huge fan of nighttime journaling, and I'm wondering if my time would be better suited to doing a writing session. This is ChatGPT's writing routine, not my own, and so I will be doing what ChatGPT has asked me. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to take my bullet journal. I'm going to plan my tasks out for the next week. I'm going to also plan out a couple of things in my Notion, and then I will top it all off with another very fun journaling session in this super cute journal that I got while I was in the UK. It's got book plates in it, just like a bunch of book plate stickers. So I have my laptop, I've got my bullet journal and my regular journal, and I have a pen, and I like how pretty much everything in my office is either like a mint blue or like a sage green. My color schemes are coming together in this video. Let's go ahead and plan out my week and do a little brief reflection journal scribble thingy, and I will be with you guys in a little bit. I'll check in and I'll tell you a little bit about what I thought about this writing routine. I am currently working on these scenes in chapter 18, or I guess now it's chapter 20, where Kai and Alyssa are in Kai's apartment. Well, I've actually now finished that, and I started working on chapter 21, and that's actually where I left off in the library. Basically, they're now on their way back to the dream world, so things are moving along really nicely. I do think that in my next writing session tomorrow that I'm probably going to do a little bit of a brain dump beforehand. I think that would be good for me to just kind of conjure up some new ideas. A brain dump is always a really good idea in my opinion, whether you're plotting or pantsing, because not only can it help you come up with new scene ideas, new dialogue, new characters, new plot points that you might need to hit, but it can also just kind of, I mean, this is obvious, but it can also just kind of empty out any unnecessary thoughts that you get in your way of writing. I find that doing a brain dump, or at least a journaling session before I start writing for the day, really helps me to kind of stay more focused while I'm writing. My characters have connected on a deeper, more emotional level. They both kind of opened up, which I was actually thinking that only one of them was going to, and it brought them closer together for sure. I do think 21 chapters this early on is probably not a good thing. I don't know that I'm necessarily overwriting. I think that I'm just breaking up the chapters weirdly, and that's something that I'm gonna have to fix in draft 2. The draft 2 problem, we don't worry about that in draft 1. We're drafting, we're building the shell, we're telling the story to ourselves. We aren't worrying about what we're going to have to fix just yet. I tend to get ahead of myself a lot. It's fine. Let's talk about ChatGPT's writing routine challenge. First of all, let me turn off my air conditioner because I just realized that that's on and I've probably got a lot of weird background noise. 1 second. All right, hopefully that's a little bit quieter. Sorry about that. I'm not going to go back and redo that whole segment though, because my battery's about to die. All of my batteries are dead today. Let's talk about what I liked about this experiment. There were a lot of really good things about this experiment. Firstly, I like that there was a lot of outside time incorporated in. I do like that the meals that ChatGPT told me to have were high in protein, light meals, and a relaxed meal at dinner, which is really nice because relaxed for me means 100% convenient, so I went with that option and had the pizza delivered, as you know. I really liked that. I also really liked moving to different locations. This is something that I do anyway in my regular writing routine, but I have actually never written at a park before, so that was a new experience for me today, and I really loved writing at the park. It was kind of fun to people watch while I was writing. That being said, the park was really busy, like a little too busy. I think I probably will have to find a less busy park next time. It just was a little distracting for me. I had a really good writing day today, and maybe that's why I enjoyed it so much, but I don't know. I just found it to be a really fun routine, not too difficult, not too easy either. And I also really liked that I had some opportunities to walk my dog and take my dog to the dog park. It is something that I like to incorporate into my day every day anyways, obviously for his sake, but it's fun to kind of get out and move my body a little bit as well. Really, there was only one thing, actually two things, I will say two things that I did not like about this routine. The first thing that I didn't like was that it was all day. Like, I literally had no time to do anything else. I stole a little bit of time this afternoon to watch the full movie of the Hunger Games. Throughout the day, there was literally no time for me to do anything else. I kept worrying about what I was gonna eat for dinner because I knew I didn't have any groceries at home. Even though it said relaxed dinner, I was kind of thinking that maybe I would make something. That was kind of a con to this routine. It's Sunday today. These are usually the days that I run errands. Because it was so busy, I don't think that it would be sustainable long term. I think like 1 or 2 days like this out of the month, maybe I could do that. Maybe I could keep that up. I definitely couldn't do this every single day. It was just really time consuming, which brings me to the next thing that I didn't like about this writing routine. I had to change locations a lot. Pretty much every writing session that I had, I changed locations. I mean, it makes for a productive day to do that many writing sessions. That's not what I'm complaining about necessarily, but the time and the gas that it takes to get to all of these locations, and you're only doing one session, that was a little much for me. And usually when I'm going to another location, it's just one other place. And then I like to stick to that location and then go back home. So sometimes maybe I'll do 2 locations outside and the rest of it is back home, but I'll almost never do 3 locations outside of my house. That was a bit different. It definitely kept me busy all day. And I do like that I had one of the most productive writing sessions that I've had in a really long time. I think probably in the last year. I ended the day at like 2,403 words, I believe. But today specifically, I noticed a lot that I had a really easy time getting the words out. I think one of the reasons why today was so much easier for me this last week, I have been writing almost every single day. I think there was like 1 day or 2 days out of this last week that I didn't sit down to write at least something. I sat down and I did the hard thing every single day, and then I was rewarded with a writing session where I actually was able to get into the flow of things, and where the words and the ideas that I had in my brain were being articulated easily onto the page, which is kind of awesome. Let me know in the comments, would you guys ever try a routine like this? Also, if you made it to the end of the video, leave a nature emoji in the comments. Any kind of nature emoji, trees, leaves, just because I spent so much time outside today and I took you guys along with me for that. And it was kind of awesome. If you liked today's video, please let me know in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of these challenge type videos and my writing vlogs, feel free to give me a subscribe. As always, I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!